Welcome to our series of videos on parenting at the table. What we'd like to do is in these videos just share with you biblical concepts of what it means to be a Christian father, a Christian mother, a Christian guardian over beautiful gifts that God has given us, children. With that too, we're going to give you these concepts that's going to help you in any given situation, and there are other available resources in particular to give you practical tips on how to parent. So we want to just share with you, though, in this series of videos, the biblical philosophy of parenting. So we're going to set the stage and really more so set the table for parenting at the table. I want you to picture sitting down with your family, whether it's just you and your spouse or if you're a single parent, and you're looking across the table and you see your child, or maybe you have a number of children. How do you view things? What's your worldview in regard to parenting? Now, I'm going to read to you from Genesis chapter 1, 27 through 28, and then I'm going to challenge us with this thought about how biblical parenting is quite different than a worldview that is all too worldly. So in the beginning, we read from Genesis 1, 27 through 28, God creates this perfect paradise, and at the crown of creation, we read this. So God created humankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and increase in number. And he would give them the charge to go and subdue the whole earth. So we start right at the beginning. As you look at your table and as you look at your child or children, we recognize that this all started way back at the beginning when God created us, male and female, moms and dads, husbands and wives. Gives us a close-up view of that in Genesis 2. And from a biblical worldview, we find this truth. We are created as managers, as stewards of all that God made. We are not the owners of these things. And in God's grace, he made us to be like him, right? We bear his image. At least that was what we were originally supposed to be, image bearers of God. Of course, we lost that in the fall, and I'm going to get to that in the next video. But for now, we recognize we are to reflect his image, the creator God. And as a part of that extension of his image, some of the work that he's called us to do, we are to be fruitful and multiply. Right? We're to have kids. In marriage, husbands and wives, moms and dads. And with this worldview, then, we have this beautiful understanding, this liberating understanding of what it means to be a mom or dad in Christ's kingdom. It's to look across the table and see children. A dear child is not something that we own, something of our own creation, but a gift on loan to us so that we might raise them up in the image that we were originally to be created in. So let me ask you, here's a challenging question from Genesis 1, 27 to 28. When you look at your children, do you truly see yourself as a steward, a manager? I'm going to adopt a new term for us, for parents in Christ. Do you see yourself to be a butler daddy or a nanny mommy, but not an owner? Not a sole owner, as if there is no father or mother other than you. I think this makes all the difference in the world. If we look at our children as if we're their owners, then we are going to pursue a life where we raise them up in my own personal image. Fathers are going to raise them up in their own image. Mothers are going to raise them up in their image. And we're going to miss out on raising them up in the image of the Father. And again, this is all the difference in the world. Now, this might be a challenging concept for many of us because we've never thought in terms of this, or maybe we've heard it, but we're stating it very clearly in a video like this. Do you see yourself as the sole father, mother of your children, or do you see yourself more like a butler daddy or a nanny mommy? And just think about how that'll change your philosophy. In fact, that's what I'd like to leave you with today is that question. How does that change your view of your children? Going down the line as far as your list of things and desires and dreams for them, how does it change everything if we remove ourselves from the temptation of feeling like they're mine, instead see them as a gift on loan? And in all truth, we're like butlers and nannies. I want you to challenge yourself with that thought. How does your worldview change if you've been thinking you're an owner to this idea that you are here by charge of God to serve your children, to feed them, to nourish them at the table, only with the menu that He has as their loving Father? You have not been given permission, nor have I, to just feed our children what we think is best, as good as our intentions might be. That is not our call. So take a look, discuss with your spouse if that applies to you, and really give yourself today a chance to meditate on whether or not you feel like you're the only mother, father, the owner of your child, or do you see yourself truly as a butler, as a nanny sent from the one Father that they have, the Father of their souls, who's redeemed them by their Son and given them their Spirit, the Spirit of God in holy baptism, to claim them again to be His own? We'll have more next time as we begin to further ourselves along in this truth, this important truth, this two-world colliding perspective. We are not owners of our children, but we are caretakers, butlers and nannies. God's blessings, and we'll see you in our next video.